Hello everybody at Flow Design TV, Darwin Fortuna here. So we're looking at a two-family here that the owner is doing its due diligence before closing on the property to see if they can potentially convert this two-family into a three-family. After looking at the inside, the outside, walking around the property, I came out with a couple of concerns, but let's backtrack a little bit. Two families are considered residential dwelling units. Three families essentially a commercial building, even though it's residential, right? Because that's the threshold on the code, on the International Building Code, from residential to commercial. More things are triggered when you start trying to change the occupancy of a building. That brings us into two sides of things. One, building code. Two, zoning code. Building code. When you go from 2 units to 3 units, it triggers change of occupancy. Change of occupancy triggers everything within the building needs to comply with the new code. What does that mean? Sprinkle systems. 2 means of egress per each unit, which it still needs to happen for the units that already exist, but it needs to have 2 means of egress. Sprinkle systems. It needs to comply with light and ventilation requirements. It needs to comply with, those are just those are the most concerning ones. Means of egress, fire separation requirements, of course. Each unit needs to be separated from the other unit by, I believe it's a 1 hour or 2 hour, depending on whether it's a sprinkle or not sprinkle. I think you have to go back to the IBC and the International Existing Building Code. Those are the two you're going to look at. International Building Code, International Existing Building Code, okay? So that's on the code side. Then there's the other side, which is the zoning. Building code and zoning codes are different. Building codes is by this entire state is ruled by that. Unless the municipality adopts something differently, which I don't think is the case here. So zoning code is done by each particular town or city. Zoning code, that was the second thing. And Adriana Paz from our office helped me doing an analysis of this property. I have to go deeper into it, but this is zoned for a two-family, R2. Typically, R2s, and by the way, I use the word typically with a little grain of salt because there's no such thing as typical. Every town is different, right? Every case is different. But R2s are only allowing sometimes single and 2 families. That's it. 3 families are forbidden. Sometimes within that table, it says 3 families, P or SP, by a special permit could be allowed. So I have to go into the table and make sure that looks good. But in summary, when you're going to look at a property and try to figure out whether you can convert that from 2 to 3, think about what's going to be triggered. It's going to be triggering change of occupancy, sprinkle system, fire separations, means of egress requirements, all of that. And then it's going to be triggered. You got to make sure first, actually, that the building that you're about to buy is zoned for 3 family. That will help you a lot with the zoning side. Because if it's zoned for 3 families, you're already sitting on money right there just with that. All right? So, but the really bulk of things is make sure that both are checked yes. Is it easy to convert into a 3 family by virtue of adding sprinkle systems without being too intrusive into the building? Can you provide 2 means of egress without having to spend a lot of money on it? Because the point of investment is to put money into something and get a return from that. Okay? Greater than what your initial investment plus the repairs cost is. That's what the return needs to be. You can't break even, because when you break even, then you're not valuing your time. We're not here to just buy something for $1 and sell it for $1. That will be a disaster. All right, thank you. Darwin Fortuna here. Bye-bye.